Reprogram your mind every morning because the way you begin your day is quietly shaping the life you are becoming. My dear, before we go any further, I want you to pause with me for just a moment. Take a breath, not a rushed breath, not the kind you take while thinking about everything you need to do, but a slow, gentle breath, the kind that reminds your body that you are safe. Inhale softly and exhale. That's it. Because this moment right here, this quiet, unnoticed moment, is where everything begins to change. You see, most people wake up and immediately step back into yesterday. They open their eyes, and without realizing it, they pick up the same worries, the same doubts, the same emotional patterns that have been looping inside them for days, months, sometimes years. It's almost automatic. Before their feet even touch the ground, their mind is already running, already replaying, already predicting, already fearing. And I know maybe you felt that too. That heavy feeling in your chest before the day even begins, that quiet pressure, that subtle sense that life is happening to you instead of through you. But let me ask you something gently, sweetheart. What if your morning wasn't just the start of another day? What if it was the doorway to a completely different version of you? What if, instead of waking up and remembering who you've been, you could wake up and decide who you are becoming? Just sit with that for a moment, because that's the shift. Not forcing, not striving, not trying to control everything, but softly, intentionally, choosing again. You see, your mind is not fixed. It's not permanent. It's not this rigid thing that defines you forever. Your mind is something you train, something you nurture, something you guide. And every single morning, it is at its most open, like soft soil, like a quiet field waiting for seeds. And whatever you plant there will grow. Now, here's where most people misunderstand this. They think reprogramming the mind means pushing away negative thoughts, forcing positivity, repeating words they don't believe. But that's not what this is. No, my dear, this is much softer than that. This is about awareness. This is about gently noticing what you are feeding your mind before the world rushes in. Because the truth is, your external life doesn't begin out there. It begins inside you, in your emotional state, in your quiet thoughts, in the invisible stories you carry before anyone even speaks to you. And the morning is where those stories are rewritten. Think of it like this. Have you ever walked into a room early in the morning when everything is still? The air feels different, doesn't it? There's a kind of purity, a kind of untouched calm. Now imagine your mind like that room. Before the noise, before the expectations, before the distractions, there is a small window where everything is still. And if you learn to meet yourself in that space, gently, lovingly, you begin to change everything. Not all at once, not dramatically, but quietly, deeply, permanently, because change that lasts is never loud. It's subtle. It's consistent. It's the kind of shift that happens so softly you don't even notice it at first, until one day you realize you no longer react the same way. You no longer carry the same heaviness. You no longer feel trapped inside your own thoughts. And you wonder, when did this happen? And the answer will be, it began in the mornings, in those small, almost invisible choices, to pause, to breathe, to become aware. So let me walk with you now, gently, not as a teacher, not as someone above you, but as someone sitting beside you, because this isn't about perfection. It's about returning to yourself again and again. Now listen closely, my dear. The first thing I want you to understand is this: you are not behind. I know it feels like it sometimes, like you should be further along, like you should have figured things out by now, like everyone else is moving faster, healing quicker, becoming more. But that feeling, that quiet pressure, that subtle urgency, it's not truth. It's conditioning. Because life, real life, doesn't move in straight lines. It moves in cycles, just like the morning, just like the sun rising slowly, without rushing, without forcing itself into the sky. And yet, it always arrives. So why do you rush yourself? Why do you speak to yourself in ways you would never speak to someone you love? Why do you wake up and immediately assume you're not doing enough, not being enough, not becoming enough? Take a breath with me again, because this is where your reprogramming truly begins, not with action, but with awareness. When you wake up tomorrow, before you reach for your phone, before you start thinking about everything waiting for you, I want you to simply notice the silence. Notice your breath. Notice your body. And instead of asking, what do I need to do today? Ask something softer. Who do I want to be today? Feel the difference in that question. One creates pressure. The other creates possibility. One tightens your chest. The other opens it. And that is how you begin to rewire your mind. Not by force, but by redirection. Because your mind follows your attention. Always. If you wake up and immediately focus on problems, your mind will expand those problems. If you wake up and focus on lack, your mind will find more evidence of what's missing. But if you wake up and gently place your attention on presence, on breath, on awareness, something shifts. You begin to come back into your body. You begin to feel grounded. You begin to realize you are not your thoughts. You are the one observing them. And that realization, my dear, is where your power lives. Now I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine your thoughts are like clouds in the sky. Some are light, some are heavy, some move quickly, some linger longer than you'd like. But no matter what, you are not the clouds. You are the sky, and the sky is never disturbed by what passes through it. So, when you wake up and a familiar thought appears, a worry, a doubt, a memory, instead of grabbing onto it, instead of following it, just notice it, gently, softly, without judgment, and let it pass. Because the more you practice this, the less power those thoughts have over you. And the more space you create inside yourself, space for calm, space for clarity, space for something new. Now here's the deeper truth. You cannot create a peaceful life with a restless mind, and you cannot create a new future while thinking from your past. So the morning becomes your sacred reset. Not something complicated, not something overwhelming, just a return to stillness, a return to awareness, a return to the version of you that exists beneath all the noise. And from that place, you begin to choose differently. You begin to respond differently. You begin to feel differently. And over time, those small internal shifts start to shape your external world. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, don't rush. Don't immediately step into the old version of yourself. Stay there for just a moment longer. In that quiet space between sleep and wakefulness, and ask yourself gently, what am I ready to release today? Not forcefully, not critically, just with curiosity. Because every day you are given another chance to let go of what no longer serves you and to step softly into who you are becoming. And my dear, you are becoming someone far more peaceful than you realize. Take another breath. Reprogram your mind every morning, not by forcing yourself to be different, but by gently remembering who you are beneath everything you've been carrying. My dear, come back to your breath with me for a moment. Inhale slowly and exhale. Feel how that alone begins to soften something inside you. Because this journey we're walking together, it isn't about adding more pressure to your life. It's about releasing it. You've been holding so much, haven't you? So many thoughts you didn't choose. So many emotional patterns you didn't even realize you inherited. Ways of thinking that feel like you, but are really just repetitions of yesterday. And here's something I want you to understand deeply, sweetheart. Your mind is not broken. It's simply trained by repetition, trained by experience, trained by what you've been exposed to again and again. And anything that has been trained can be gently retrained. Not overnight, not perfectly, but consistently, like teaching a child how to walk again, patiently, lovingly, without punishment. So when we talk about reprogramming your mind every morning, we're really talking about something very simple. What are you practicing the moment you wake up? Because whatever you practice, you become. If you practice worry, you become more familiar with anxiety. If you practice self-criticism, you become fluent in doubt. If you practice rushing, your body learns to live in tension. But if you begin to practice stillness, even just for a few minutes, your body remembers what peace feels like. And once your body remembers, it starts to crave that feeling. It starts to return to it more easily. It starts to become your new normal. That's how change really happens. Not through force, but through familiarity. So let me guide you gently into something. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, before you move, before you check anything, before you allow the outside world to enter your mind, just place one hand softly over your heart and stay there. No rush, no expectations. Just feel your heartbeat. That quiet rhythm that has been with you through everything, through every fear, every joy, every moment you thought you wouldn't make it through, but did. Let that realization sink in. You are still here, and that matters more than you've been allowing yourself to feel. Now, as you rest your hand there, I want you to whisper something softly, either out loud or within yourself. I am here, and I am safe in this moment. Just that. Nothing complicated, nothing overwhelming. And notice what happens. Maybe nothing at first. Maybe a small resistance. Maybe your mind tries to wander. That's okay. Gently bring it back, again and again, because this is how you begin to shift your inner world through gentle repetition, through patience, through compassion, not by demanding instant transformation, but by creating a new emotional experience, one morning at a time. Now let me share something deeper with you. Most people try to change their lives by changing their circumstances. They think, when this improves, I'll feel better. When that happens, I'll be at peace. But my dear, peace doesn't come from what happens outside of you. It comes from what you practice within. Because if your mind is used to chaos, even when things go well, it will search for something to worry about. But if your mind is trained in calm, even when things feel uncertain, you will find steadiness. So the question becomes, what emotional state are you rehearsing every morning? Because your body listens, your nervous system learns, and over time, it becomes your baseline. This is why mornings are so powerful, because you are not just thinking, you are conditioning. You are teaching your body how to feel. You are setting the tone for everything that follows. So instead of waking up and immediately thinking about everything you have to fix, what if you began your day by feeling, just for a moment, as if nothing needed to be fixed? Can you imagine that? Even if it's only for a few seconds, that sense of completeness, that quiet feeling of I am enough right now. Let it be small, let it be subtle. That's enough. Because your mind doesn't need intensity to change, it needs consistency. Now, I want you to notice something gently. There may be a part of you that resists this, a quiet voice that says, this won't work. It's too simple. It won't change anything. And I want you to meet that voice with kindness, because that voice is not your enemy. It's a protective pattern. It's the part of you that learned to expect disappointment. So it tries to keep you from hoping. It tries to keep you from trusting. But you don't need to fight it. You don't need to silence it. Just acknowledge it. And then softly choose again. Choose to stay with your breath. Choose to stay with your awareness. Choose to stay with the version of you that is learning something new. Because every time you do this, you are creating a new pathway in your mind, a new way of being. And over time, that new way becomes natural. Now let me guide you a little deeper into your morning. After you've taken those few quiet moments, after you've connected with your breath, after you've reminded yourself that you are safe, I want you to gently bring in one feeling, not a thought. A feeling. It could be peace. It could be gratitude. It could be calm. Choose something that feels soft, accessible, real, and just sit with it. Let it expand slightly. You don't have to force it. You don't have to make it bigger than it is. Just notice it, because feelings are the language of your body. And when your body begins to feel something new, your mind starts to follow, not the other way around. So if you want to create a peaceful life, you don't start by controlling everything outside. You start by introducing peace inside, little by little, morning by morning. Now, as you stay with this feeling, I want you to quietly say to yourself, this is who I am becoming, not in a future sense, but right now, because identity is not something you wait for. It's something you practice. You become peaceful by practicing peace. You become grounded by practicing stillness. You become confident by choosing yourself again and again. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Now take another breath with me and let this settle into your heart. You don't have to rush your healing. You don't have to prove your worth. You don't have to figure everything out today. All you have to do is meet yourself gently each morning and choose, even in the smallest way, to begin again, because every morning is a quiet invitation to think differently, to feel differently, to become someone new. And my dear, you are already on your way. Just by being here, just by listening, just by opening yourself to something softer. So tomorrow morning, don't look for a big transformation. Don't expect everything to suddenly change. Instead, look for the small shift, the softer breath, the calmer thought, the gentler way you speak to yourself, because those small shifts are not small at all. They are the beginning of everything. Take a breath. Reprogram your mind every morning by becoming so gentle with yourself that even your thoughts begin to soften. My dear, come closer again, not physically, but inwardly. Take a breath with me, slowly, and release. Feel that quiet space opening inside you, because this part, this moment we are stepping into now, is where something deeper begins to unfold. You've already started to understand that your mornings are not just routines. They are emotional rehearsals. They are quiet moments where you are teaching your mind and body what it means to live before the world tells you what to feel. And now, I want to take you even deeper into that understanding, because there's something many people never realize. It's not just your thoughts that shape your life. It's the way you feel about your thoughts. Let me say that again gently. It's not just what you think. It's how you respond to what you think. Because you can have a negative thought and still remain at peace. But the moment you react to that thought with fear, with judgment, with frustration, that's when it begins to take root. That's when it begins to define your state. So the shift we're creating together is not about eliminating thoughts. It's about changing your relationship with them, becoming softer, more spacious, more allowing, like the ocean that doesn't resist the waves. It simply lets them rise and fall. Now imagine starting your morning from that place, where nothing inside you needs to be pushed away, where even your doubts are allowed to pass through without control. That is freedom. Not control, but allowance. And when you live from that space, something very beautiful begins to happen. Your nervous system starts to relax. Your body begins to trust you again. Because for so long, you've been at war with yourself, haven't you? Trying to fix every thought, trying to control every feeling, trying to become someone better without realizing you were already enough to begin with. So let's soften that now. Let's release the pressure. Because healing doesn't happen in tension. It happens in safety. Now listen closely, sweetheart. There is a habit I want to introduce to you, one that is so simple yet so powerful. When you wake up and your mind begins to move, instead of following it immediately, pause and ask yourself gently, what am I feeling right now? Not what are you thinking? Not what do you need to do? But what are you feeling? Because that question brings you back into your body. It grounds you. It reconnects you to the present moment. And whatever arises, whether it's calm or heaviness or uncertainty, just meet it without trying to change it, without trying to label it as good or bad. Just feel it. Because when you allow a feeling to be fully felt, it begins to move. It begins to release. But when you resist it, it stays. It lingers. It loops. And then it becomes your day. So your morning becomes a space of emotional honesty, a space where you don't pretend, you don't perform, you don't rush past yourself, you simply arrive, fully, gently, as you are. Now, as you sit with whatever you're feeling, I want you to bring in a soft affirmation, not as a way to escape the feeling, but as a way to hold yourself through it. Something like, I can be with this and still be okay. Repeat that slowly within yourself. I can be with this and still be okay. Feel the compassion in those words. Feel the permission, because you don't need to feel perfect to have a peaceful day. You just need to feel supported by yourself. And that is what you are learning now, to become your own safe place. Now let's go a little deeper, because there is something within you that may still be holding on to an old pattern, a quiet belief that says, if I don't worry, things will go wrong. If I don't overthink, I'll lose control. If I don't stay alert, I won't be safe. And I want you to understand this gently. That belief was created to protect you. At some point, it served you. It helped you navigate something difficult, something uncertain, something that required you to stay on edge. But you are not there anymore. You are here, in this moment, safe enough to breathe, safe enough to soften, safe enough to choose a new way. And this is where your power lies. Not in forcing the old belief to disappear, but in slowly, consistently showing yourself that you don't need it anymore, through your mornings, through your breath, through your presence. Now, as you continue your morning, after you've connected with your feelings, after you've offered yourself that gentle affirmation, I want you to introduce one more small practice. Gratitude, but not in the way you've been taught before. Not a forced list. Not something you rush through, but a feeling, a quiet recognition. It could be something as simple as the way the light enters your room, the fact that you woke up today, the warmth of your breath. Let it be small. Let it be real. Because gratitude is not about convincing yourself everything is perfect. It's about allowing yourself to notice that something is good. And when you begin your day from that space, your mind starts to shift its focus. It begins to look for more of what feels like that. More calm, more softness, more ease. And over time, that becomes your reality. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because your perception did. Now, I want to guide you into a deeper affirmation segment. And I want you to receive these words slowly, as if they are being placed gently into your heart. You don't need to repeat them all at once. Just let them flow through you. I am allowed to begin again, today. I release the pressure to be perfect. I am safe to move at my own pace. I choose peace, even in small moments. I trust that I am growing, even when I cannot see it. I am not my past. I am becoming something new. Let each one land softly. Let each one settle. Because these are not just words. They are seeds. And every morning you repeat them. You are planting something new within yourself. Now take a breath with me and feel into this truth. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are unfolding, slowly, quietly, in ways that cannot always be seen, but can always be felt. And the more you meet yourself like this each morning, the more your life begins to reflect it. Less chaos, less urgency, less fear, more presence, more clarity, more peace. Not because everything outside is perfect, But because you are no longer at war within, so tomorrow morning, when you wake up, don't rush into the world. Let the world wait, just for a little while. Stay with yourself, breathe, feel, notice. Speak gently. Choose softness, because that is how you reprogram your mind, not through force, but through love. And my dear, you are learning how to love yourself in a way that will change everything. Take one more breath and let that truth stay with you as you step into your day.